Muy buenas a todos, soy Focumero, esto es Focumero Gaming. Estamos un día más en Spellforce 3. El otro día, bueno, el último capítulo pusimos el orbe que conseguimos en el desierto aquí. Despertamos un poder en el nexo de los moldeadores. Y falta por recuperar la segunda piedra, que esa creo que va a ser más una misión de infiltrado que de otra cosa.
I'd still like to know more about how you ended up in Nortender.
Bugger and blast. And here I was hoping you'd forgotten. All right, I'll tell you. But only under one condition.
Yes?
That I get to ask you a personal question too.
Venga,
Then we have a deal. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Fair enough.
tan fácil como
I was
inventarme la
born in the
respuesta.
Windwall Mountains. Sorry, still sorting out my thoughts. It's been a long time since I last told this story to anyone. Alright, one more time. As you can imagine, I was born in Windwall, a child of the rocks.
Come again?
A true dwarf, as some would say. Born in the buried city, not on the outside as the traders and farmers are. My family was quite privileged. Not nobility, but my mother and father led a big smeltery which supplied one of the finest smithies. Moon silver weaponry. Ever heard of it?
I think so. The commanders of the Royal Army use them.
Figures. Well, my childhood was a rather unremarkable one. I had two brothers and a sister, and even though I was the oldest child, I was always the most quiet one. I learned quickly how to wield an axe, and I still know how to do it, but I never took pleasure in it. The same goes for my parents' craft. For some reason, Nihalf had given me a talent for metallurgy, but not the desire to use it. Instead, my biggest love was always made with ink. Books.
But I assume your parents didn't approve of that.
Oh no, they didn't mind. I had three siblings who could do the job as well as I, so the future of our family was secured. On the contrary, they were quite accepting, which wasn't usual amongst dwarves, especially not those in Windwall.
¿Cómo son los senadores de la superficie? ¿Qué verdad? Entonces, ¿qué pasó? ¿Por qué te fuiste del mundo? A ver.
What happened? Why did you leave Windwall?
I'm getting there, Tahar. When I came of age, I found work in the Windwall Library. That time was also when I deepened my knowledge of the Shapers. I devoured all the books there were, and bought whatever writings the merchants brought in. They smiled at me, talked of me as the strange bird, but I didn't care. The more I read, the more spellbound I became, and the more I dreamed of journeying through EO to solve all those mysteries not yet uncovered.
Y bueno, ¿qué te lo impide?
And what kept you from doing just that?
Well, two things. First of all, my attachment to my family.
Gilak.
Secondly, Gilak,
Gilead?
my partner.
You had a partner?
Yeah, we met... I'd rather not go into detail too much. Fact is, we lived together for 6 years. He was very dear to me. Let's put it that way.
¿Cómo son las familias enanas? Esto me interesa.
What are dwarven families like?
Similar to their human counterparts, I believe. Having family and offspring is considered to be very important, especially if you're of noble blood.
But living with someone of the same sex is acceptable?
Well, yes and no. If you do, you don't talk about it, and you should make sure to find yourself a wife or a husband to found a proper family, eventually, and bring new children of stone into the world, even if that family is just a charade. If you don't do that, you're frowned upon. There's even a word for a childless dwarf, man or woman. Galrag, which roughly translates as dusty boulder. Very amusing, I know.
Bueno, tienen parte de razón, ¿no?
They do have a point, though. For an empire to endure, there needs to be children.
I agree. But I doubt a few people with different desires living a different kind of life pose a threat. There'll always be men who like women and women who like men, and a couple of people whose tastes are different don't change the fact. And once again, the Shapers were different in that regard. As long as you stay within the boundaries of your caste, you could do as you pleased.
I understand. But something happened, didn't it?
Yeah. The Blackstone Rebellion. Ever heard of it?
No.
No.
A coup. A small group of rebels tried to overthrow the royal house. It was bound to fail from the beginning. The rebels were anti-traditionalist and wanted to establish a new order, where it's the people who have the power, not the nobility. Gilak was one of these rebels.
Oh.
Yeah. At first, before the coup, they tried to raise awareness by giving underground speeches. A noble endeavor, but not at all thought through. Most dwarves just don't care about politics as long as they can have their mugs of ale. First, he didn't ask me to participate, but the more sour things went, the more he started pushing me. At one point, we had a fight, when he asked me to steal money from my family to support the movement. It was terrible. Finally, push came to shove, and he told me of the coup. He knew that despite my occupation, I was a remarkable fighter and Earthshaper, which is why he asked me to fight alongside him. You can make a difference, that's what he said. By Nihalf, he was just so naive. He really thought it would be like in the old legends, a group of courageous dwarfs fighting their way to Algrim Castle with me at his side. I just don't... Forgive me. It's strange to talk about it like this.
No decir nada. Pasa que bueno, no antrocio. Say nothing.
You can imagine how torn I was. I knew he'd die if the coup took place, but I also knew that I couldn't stop him. When I told him he was mad, he called me a coward, a delusional bookworm, who'd rather spend his whole life dreaming about the past and changing the present. And then he left. The next day, I found him beheaded by a royal guard. They didn't even make it to the castle stairs.
¿Y qué pasó después?
What happened then?
I ran. Not only because I'd rather have died than returned to that empty house of ours, but also because they would have arrested me too. Our relationship wasn't a secret, and in their eyes, I was as eccentric as Gilak and his friends. And we all know how dangerous eccentrics are, don't we? I left my family a letter, telling them not to come after me, bought a horse, and rode as far as it would take me before collapsing. That was 9 years ago. I haven't returned ever since.
Y después empezaste a estudiar a los molladores.
I see. And since then you've been studying the Shapers?
Yeah. If there really is, as people say, a silver lining to everything, then this would be it. I'm finally doing what I was too afraid to do back in Windwall. I'm living my dream. Though the price I paid for it was high. And you know what, Tahar?
What?
There's a third reason to my fascination with the Shapers I haven't told you about yet. It's Gilak. Stupid as it may sound, there's a part of me who wants to prove him wrong. To show him that the past has value. That it can guide us towards a better world.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing this, Iskrin. I appreciate it.
Yeah. It felt good to talk about it. I didn't
La
expect that.
pregunta que me tiene que hacer.
But you're not off the hook yet. The question, remember?
Right. Shoot.
Your past is even more unusual than mine. Growing up with a man like Isamo Tahar as your father? Without a mother? And then the whole thing with the Mage Rebellion? I know you've been through a lot. Now, I was wondering, if you could trade that past you've had for a different one, would you do it?
No.
I wouldn't.
That surprises me, to be honest. But I think I understand.
El pasado es lo que nos lleva
Pleasure speaking with you.
a donde estamos.
Hope this wasn't too grim for you, but then again...
Puede que el
you
destino
asked
sea
for it.
mejor, pero también puede ser que sea
Give me some
peor.
time now, will you?
Sure. Take care, Iskrin. Will do.
Y es que tiene acceso a una nueva habilidad, bastión.
Understood.
A ver. Será esto, ¿no?
Tahar, may I help you with something?
No, no tengo tus piezas de armadura, así que vamos a la misión principal ya. Salgamos de aquí.
Yes. Will do.
El sacrificio, hay que hablar con Gore, porque no va a contar su historia. Bueno, más adelante.
Yes.
Sabes que me lo voy a quitar ya, pero yo creo que esta me lo voy a saltar un poco la conversación. Es que Esta gente les encanta hablar, ¿eh? Me encanta el hacha que llevo. Va, juego con la capa.
How did you become...
Esto ya lo sé, ¿eh? Ahora tengo que elegir
It is,
esto.
but the more I know about your abilities, the better.
We're not fighting for you, Tahar. We are fighting alongside each other. That's a big difference.
Maybe, but for now, I'm your commander.
On the field, yes. But that doesn't mean you can order me or my men around as you want. Still, you've got fire. I like that. Let's make it short then. Shapeshifting is a gift of Zarek. One that only the best of his shamans are granted.
And how does one become a shaman?
He has to be chosen by a tribe's chieftain. You see, magical talent is a lot rarer among orcs than it is among humans or elves. In my tribe, there was only me and Rain.
Y hubo un sacrificio,
We both
evidentemente.
discovered our talent by chance. I, when I was 9, and put out a fire that had broken out in my family's hut. Everybody was asleep. Even the damn fool that had been tasked to stand guard. When I woke up, the entire room was in flames.
Entonces te despertó tu magia.
What
¿Qué
happened
pasó?
then?
I panicked and started screaming, as every child would have. However, the only thing that did was make me inhale the fumes even quicker. My vision blurred and I lost consciousness. When I woke up again, I was on a bed of hay in the village shaman's tent, and everybody was staring at me, as if I was Zarek incarnate. I asked what happened and they told me. Just when I had lost consciousness, it had started to rain. Not just a little. It was a full-fledged storm, a deluge from the skies. With not even a minute, all the tents in the village had been flooded. The fire wasn't extinguished right away, but was quickly put out by the other orcs that had been awoken by the storm.
Es impresionante.
Well, it was also my last successful weather ritual. If it hadn't been, Barker Gore would be all meadows and forests by now. According to my brothers, I had an orange shimmer in my eyes, and was muttering strange words when they took me to the shaman. She told me that was a clear sign that I was gifted, and that I had fire in my blood, as my tribe likes to say. Of course, it changed my life entirely. All of a sudden, I was my Cal's pride. It was strange, not just for me, but also for my kin.
Mencionaste a un tal Brain.
Interesting. And who was this Rain you mentioned earlier?
Did I? Well, that's complicated.
¿Y por qué lo
I don't
mencionas,
want to
tío?
talk about it.
All right.
relación
Regarding
que es el
this
rey.
Rain you told me about.
No, Tahar. Accept it.
Pues vale, tío.
Will do.
Yo no quiero hablar contigo, ojalá. Vámonos de aquí ya, anda. Quiero continuar con la misión. Aquí está la salida. Y ayuda a Isigre a mejorar aún más su armadura. Me hace falta estas tres cosas que no tengo. Algo secreto que se esconde tras el borde de sangre. En la isla desconocida. Tenemos tres misiones, bueno, de las cuales una es invisible, es la del borde de sangre. Esa depende de avanzar con el tema de los orbes, así que tengo que ir a Isla o a buscar a Wazeley. Es lo primero que me encuentro en el mapa, no hay más. Vámonos pues. No hay más que hacer aquí. Luz eterna. Imagino que la isla tendrá que estar por aquí, ¿no? Si no estuviera en el mar, no sería una isla. Ahora vamos a ir a luz eterna, que es lo primero que me he encontrado. Tengo que elegir al grupo. Vale, bien. Voy a quitar a Iana. Y voy a meter a este de aquí. Y voy a quitar a este. Y voy a meter al enano.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during
Lo único que permanece fija en el grupo por ahora es Iria, que en cuanto Rogen pueda curar, o Tahar pueda curar más, la quitaré.
and the purity of Light's aggressive crusade for new followers.
This way, right?
Aquí hay que hablar con alguien por esta zona. Vamos a comprar antes pociones.
What's next?
Pero no sé en qué tienda es, así que visitaré todas.
Interesting. Here we are, Everlight. What now?
Alright, why not?
Pues ahora a comprar pociones. Que estoy casi sin.
Armors and shields, everything from copper daggers to moon silver swords.
Me voy a quedar con lo azul únicamente y viendo lo verde. De aquí de armas creo que haré igual. Además me quitaré todo lo que no tenga color. Esto es azul, así que no me lo quitaré. Pero esto que es verde. Fuera. Mira esto, ¿no? Que me he equivocado. Y esto también fuera. Me quedo únicamente con lo azul también aquí. ¿No se puede permitir el mercader o qué? A ver, ¿qué más puedo comprar yo para que... Bueno, realmente sea rentable, ¿eh? 2500 por 2500 me llega. Este arma está bastante bien. Arma de asta deslizante. Y esto es gran espada aplastante, hace falta destreza. Y es de 2 manos, pero hace muy poco daño, ¿no? Y esto también es de gran espada perforante. 29. Automáticos tiene un 30% de la armadura del objetivo. Tiene buena pinta este arma. Y este también. Que ataca 2 objetivos. Voy a pillar esta, ¿va? Y se la voy a poner a tajar. Me falta destreza. Esto sí que puede, pero pierde el escudo. Lo dejaré así. Voy a probar el arma. Venía a proporciones y al final he comprado esto. ¿Esto qué es? Esto se lo vendí yo, creo, anteriormente. Esta armadura es de... Está mal esa armadura, ¿eh? 48 de defensa. Es bastante mejor que la que lleva este. Incluso este. Vamos a cambiar de tienda. Vamos a llevar a este a aquí arriba. Ya está aquí. Y al enano lo voy a llevar aquí a estas tiendas. A ver qué hay.
Yes? What do we need?
Something you need?
Now would you look at that? Yes?
So, what's the plan?
Corporal?
Volver a las tiendas donde se había puesto y ahora continuamos con esa misión. Esta tienda es donde había comprado yo las armas. Quizás estas armas le puedan venir bien a Iria. Destreza tienes tú, ¿verdad? ¿Y no te las podía poner ese arma? A ver, compruebe. No, le falta fuerza. Falta uno de fuerza y se lo podría poner. Y habilidades que le podía dejar en vez del arco. Pues cualquiera de estas, supongo. Pero no sé, tampoco tiene mucho sentido hacerlo eso con ella, que es arquera. A ver qué venden aquí. Pociones. 19-20, hace esta ballesta. Bueno, es mala. 20 aquí. Esta está aquí en otra tienda. Aquí venden buenos arcos. 13 y 16. Contra orcos, a ver si hay una que haga daño doble. No hay ninguna que haga daño doble. Voy a comprar este, va. Estos arcos, no sé si venderlos. Tampoco no puede, le falta fuerza, pero pongo este que le llega. Y este no sé, voy a probar este espadón, a ver qué tal. Es este, estaba mal equipado. El arma que tiene que probar. TAHAR no puede, le falta destreza, le falta uno de destreza. TAHAR lo que puede llevar es esto. Y vamos a ver qué hay aquí. Aquí no venden nada. Ah, mira, joyería venden aquí. Más uno de constitución. Puede estar bien. Aquí venden más pociones. Fotos de misión, documentos y planos. Consumibles. ¿Esto qué es, orbe? Todo esto lo guardaré para la parte final de la campaña, que se pondrá difícil. Ya tengo las pociones, vamos a hablar con este. Ahora el portal, por cierto. Y lo conectamos con la entrada.
Yes? What is it?
I need your help.
¿Qué pasa?
What happened? Who are you?
Rohija Tanner. I have a small farm just behind the city walls, which I run with my husband. Thing is, he's sick. Stomach cramps and fever. Ever since he went to that bloody village. Anyhow, harvest is coming up soon, and I can't have my Georgie lying in bed all day.
Bueno, no soy
I'm
médico.
not sure I'm the one you should talk to. There must be a doctor in town.
Oh, come on, do you really trust these quacks? A friend of mine once went to one of them with a gash on her leg, and came back with the leg missing. Can you believe that? Just cutting off people's limbs right and left like that? I'm not going to let them hurt my Georgie like that.
Well, then, just wait it out. I don't see what else you could do.
Well, that's where you come in. Holy Frank, the world-renowned traveling healer, was in town a week back. He gave me a secret recipe that works on all stomach ailments, and I'm the first person in the kingdom to be allowed to replicate this holy concoction. Ugh, of course, these so-called doctors have nothing comparable in their satchels. Now the problem is, I have my hands full with running the farm now that Georgie's ill, and I just don't have the time to look for the potion's ingredients myself.
And you want us to find them for you, right?
That's it. We'll make it worth your while. We have a lot of surplus vegetables and grains we'd be happy to share with you for your help.
Venga, va.
All right.
Te
I'll see
ayudaré.
what I can do. Could you give me a list?
Oh, yes, of course. I've already put one together. Thank you, friend. I'm sure Tiara will reward you for your kindness. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to the farm. Georgie needs his cold wraps changed.
All right. Where is your farm so I can find you when I've got the stuff?
Just under the south wall. You can't miss it. Tiara's blessing, soldier. You're doing the right thing.
Encuentra algo, encuentra ortiga y
A
encuentra
good deed a
algo
day
de
keeps the
pelo.
dark ones away. Can't hurt to help someone every once in a while.
Pues nada. El elixir. Recupera la piedra del lazo. Encuentra algo de pelo. Hostia, eso va a ser complicado, ¿eh? Y más teniendo aquí el enano.
Yes? Do I know you?
Greetings, milady. Could you spare a moment? I'm here to discuss an urgent matter.
We're really doing this, aren't we? Zarek, help us.
Sure. What is it?
Well, even a battle-hardened warrior such as myself could not help but notice your astounding beauty. All those years I've shed blood for the Queen and my country, but the battles changed me. I started to question the purpose of my sacrifices. I began to lose my resolve. There is honor in a battle, yes. But is honor alone enough to keep a man going? It is not. We all need something to fight for. Something to return to when the ordeals of battle are over. Especially in times of
Menudo
darkness.
sermón le va a lanzar para quitarle
It's
el
hard
pelo,
not
¿eh?
to lose oneself
Para pedirle,
without
mejor dicho, un
a
mechón
glimmer
de
of hope.
cabello.
You, fair lady, are my glimmer. No, do not misunderstand. I am a soldier, and it was never my purpose to find lasting love. But your beauty reminds me that there are things worth fighting for.
I don't know what to say.
Say nothing, fair lady. I know my passion is overwhelming. All I ask for is a strand of your golden hair to remember you by. I shall like to have it with me whenever I venture into battle, to shed blood for my country, for honor, and for the beauty of this world.
I understand. Yes, of course, honorable soldier. Who am I to deny you such a simple request? After all, it is you who is keeping us simple people safe, isn't it?
We are only doing our duty.
Such virtue. Here, take it. Will you... will I find you in Everlight more often?
You may, or you may not. But I will do all in my power to see you whenever possible. Goodbye, fair lady.
Goodbye.
Okay, let's just forget this ever happened.
Ahora tengo que encontrar una ortiga de fuego y aparte encontrar ajo. A ver qué venden en esta tienda y avanzamos ya a la isla.
Yes? Want to trade?
Venden aquí medallones. ¿Esto qué es? Casco de la manada. Invoca un goblin. Este era la que tenía antes yo. Estos son talismanes de 1000 cortes. Que realmente no sé dónde se equipa esto. Silencia un enemigo. Ah, esto es utilizar. Esto ya se utiliza y se acabó. Y carne de goblin. No sé si vender esto. Alambre, clavo. Esencia demoníaca. Pues si vendo esto, me hago de oro, ¿eh? 3600 sacaría. Es que realmente no sé si esto luego me va a hacer falta en un futuro, ¿no? Hasta ahora no he tenido que utilizarlo, creo. Voy a vender todo y ya está. Y luego si no, pues lo recuperaré aquí en esta tienda. Un fastidio. Esperamos que así saque algo de dinero. Un fragmento olvidado del maestro de la vida y de la muerte. Es que sin embargo, fijaos que ponen aquí. Estos son cosas para... Fragmento del Fénix. Bat. Esto es objeto de misión. Esto también es objeto de misión. Si pongo esto, 5. Lo voy a dejar todo. Ahora mismo no me ocupa nada en el inventario, pero vamos. Me lo acabaré quitando seguramente. Vamos a ir a hablar con el tipo este que nos lleve a la isla. Y voy a dejar por aquí el episodio, chavales. Espero que os esté gustando. Creo que ya estamos llegando al final de la historia. Y nada más, chavales. Like, comentáis, suscribíos. Especialmente suscribíos. Y hasta la próxima. Chao.